Hey everybody, Jam Creates here, and this is my big New York City Comic Con video that I promised. If you follow me on Twitter, I said it was coming. Well, here it is. Uh, Yesterday, which was Sunday, I went to New York City Comic Con, and it was my first time ever going to Comic Con, believe it or not. I've been to other conventions. I've been to things like Star Wars Celebration, and I've been to a couple of different book cons and some other stuff, but like this was my first time going to New York City Comic Con, and it's kind of a funny story how I wound up going. We only went for the one day. I only went Sunday. I took my daughter. It was just the two of us. Before I get into everything that I did, all the things, and I'm gonna show you some stuff I got at the con. First, I'm just gonna give you a little background. We um, we weren't planning on going. Like I said, we had no intention of going, so we didn't buy passes in advance or anything like that. And we found out that Zachary Levi, the star of Chuck in the upcoming Shazam movie, was going to be there for another day. He was going to be there on Sunday, which he wasn't scheduled to be. I think he was only scheduled to be there Thursday and Friday. And to be honest, like we weren't planning on going, so I never really paid that close attention to who was going to be there anyway. And then we found out that he was going to be there for another day, and he added an extra day of photo opportunities and autograph signings. So we said, you know what? I love Chuck. I'm a huge Chuck fan. I know some people, whatever, however you feel about the show, whatever. Everybody likes their own thing. I'm a big fan of Chuck. My daughter, I introduced it to her. My wife is a big fan. I introduced the show to them. My daughter loves it. She loves Zachary Levi. Of course, she loved Tangled, and he does the voice of Flynn Rider in that. And she was a big fan of that when she was younger. And so she really wants to meet him. It's been a big deal for her to try and meet him. So when we found out we were going to have an opportunity, we jumped on the chance for a photo op, and we got the tickets for the photo op, but then we still didn't have passes. So what we ended up doing was buying passes just for Sunday. This was on Saturday we were doing all this, by the way. We bought passes for Sunday just for myself and my daughter, because the markup on the passes is like redonkulous. We got them through StubHub, which, I mean, honestly, aside from just the fact that they cost so much because it is last minute and everything, the whole process was super easy. I mean, we just searched online on the StubHub site what we wanted, found them, found what we needed. She's still a child badge. I'm an adult badge, obviously. We got one of each. Because they were so expensive, my wife said she would forego the chance to go. And so it was just me and my daughter who went, and we bought the passes online. When we got into the city, we just had to go to a place near Times Square to just pick them up. It wasn't that, I mean, it was no big deal. It was actually super easy to just go in and show them my ID, pick up the badges, and then we headed over. We took an Uber over to the Javits Center, and we were there. And we were there before the doors opened, and it was super packed. That is one thing I will say was, having been at other conventions, and pretty big ones. I mean, Star Wars Celebration's a pretty big convention, but holy crud, is Comic-Con so much bigger. It's by far the biggest convention I've ever been to, just in terms of sheer square footage. And then in the terms of people, oh my god, the amounts of people who were there. Just super, super crowded. I'm sure you can find pictures and videos and stuff online. Maybe I'll do another video at some point just talking about that. I don't know, we'll see. But for now, I want to get into some of the other stuff that we did there. We did do a photo op. I'm not going to show you the photo with Zach Levi because it's got my daughter's picture in it, and that's kind of weird. So I'm not going to show you that. We got an autograph. She got his autograph on a Chuck poster. I actually don't have that with me because my daughter doesn't allow anyone else to touch it or hold it or anything right now. It needs to be preserved in pristine condition. So whatever, that's fine. So I'm going to show you the stuff that I got while I was there. This is my badge, obviously. First of all, Daryl from The Walking Dead on there. Okay, whoop-de-doo. I was kind of hoping for something actually more comic booky on the badges. Lanyards from Webtoon. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. Then there's the Comic-Con program. Batman Damned on the cover. Cool cover. Lots of typical, ads and stuff for just all the different things you're getting. Just stuff about the different exhibitors at the con and everything else. The typical stuff that you expect. Of course, the maps. I mean, this alone should just give you some idea. This is only part of it, what you're seeing here. Yeah, because it does this. Ta-da! Yeah, that's not even the whole show floor, though. That's level 3. Here's a bigger map of just level 1, level 2, and the roadway, and level 3. And there's even some stuff outside of the convention center. So anyway, this is like whatever. It is what it is. It's showing you what's there. It's getting, some ads and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. It's cool. It'll be something cool to flip through. I really barely even looked at it, honestly. Big deal for me definitely was first thing I did when I got there, because I knew he was going to be there. I went down into Artist Alley because I had tweeted to him the night before and he told me that's where he was going to be. Mike S. Miller was there, and he's a comic book artist if you don't know. He's got an Indiegogo going for a comic called Lone Star, and I was tweeting with him the night before. I said, once I realized I was going to be there on Sunday, I knew he had been there for the previous couple of days, so I said, dude, are you going to be there tomorrow? And he said yes. He tweeted back at me, he said yes, and he told me where he was going to be. So I was like, cool, I'll come find him. So we got there, like, doors opened, we went in, and we kind of just basically went right there because the rest of our day was pretty much, like, booked up by Zachary Levi appointments. So I went right down there, and Mike wasn't quite ready yet. It was still pretty early. I mean, it was, like, right after the doors opened. And he I felt bad because he was, like, still trying to set stuff up, and I was like, hey, Mike. And he was like, dude, you thought I'd be ready at this point? Anyway, super cool guy. I talked to him for a few minutes, and then I was like, all right, we'll let you set up. We'll go do something else. We'll come back later. So we did. We walked around the show floor, which was, like, so hard to get around, honestly. Like, we didn't even get to see the whole show floor because it took us so long to get around anywhere just because of the sheer volume of people. So my advice to anyone else, if you're doing Comic-Con next year, let's say, New York Comic, I don't know about San Diego, although I think it's even bigger. If you're going to do New York Comic-Con next year, give yourself multiple days because you will need it. But anyway, so I went back and I talked to Mike, and we had a whole conversation. It was really cool. Maybe I'll do a whole nother video about that at some point. I'm not sure. But we talked about YouTube. We talked about drawing. We talked about all sorts of stuff. And I got a commission from him. I was supposed to get a 4x4 head sketch, and I wanted Lone Star, which is his comic that he's doing his Indiegogo for. And when he found out that I was a backer, he was like, oh, cool. He's like, here, check this out. This is something that he's going to, if he has any left, he's going to throw them into just some random packages of the backers. So it's like a Lone Star little bookmark. See the front, the back, talks about what it is. It gives you all Mike's information on how you can follow him. Really cool. Like, I thought that was neat. He just, like, tossed that and he's like, hey, here, take it. And then, because I was a backer, he also gave me this, which is a sweet poster. You can even see it's got the Comic-Con logo on the bottom there. Blacklist Universe, LoneStarComic.com. You can see this is actually one of the covers for issue 1 of Lone Star that he's doing his crowdfunding for. And it's been very successful. He's getting close to 6 figures on his campaign. And this is one of the covers. He actually gave you an option for multiple covers, and believe it or not, this is the cover I chose. So not only is my book, when it comes, because I backed it, not only is my book going to be this cover, now I got this sweet poster of it, which is really cool. And Mike was actually at the Hot Flips booth, and so I was able to just buy a protector for it, so it's in plastic, so it'll be nice and safe, which was great for walking around the rest of the day at Comic-Con because, you know, you're bumping into people and all kinds of stuff, and then I'm riding the train and everything else. So anyway, that's that. Then, I'm just going to flip this over and maybe use that as a background. So then later, he shoots me a text and tells me my Lone Star commission is done. So I go back, and he was like, hey, you know, you're a backer, whatever. He's like, so I did a little more than you asked for. So he gave me this. This is the coolest thing ever. Like, honestly, this is the first time I've ever bought a commission from an artist at a con. Like I said, it's my first time at Comic-Con. And he did this Lone Star for me. And it is freaking sweet. Honestly, it is super cool. I can't wait to, like, get, like, a frame for this and hang it up. I'm either going to hang it in my office or somewhere in my house. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet. But it is so cool. I was so excited. I was so happy. When he handed that to me, I really was, like, freaking out. I was like, holy crap, dude, thank you so much. You know, he hooked me up big time. Look at that. He was supposed to do a 4x4 head sketch, and this is a full-on, like, full-size page, like, giant. I mean, that's freaking cool. And I can't wait to just hang that up somewhere and just display that so proudly forever. He also, by the way, while I was talking to him, gave me a little peek at his work in progress for the cover of issue 2 of Lone Star, which is a really cool looking cover. It's like an action shot, and I think he's tweeted it out before. I'm not sure, but you definitely want to check that out. And honestly, like, you know, Mike was probably the highlight for me. Mike and Zach Levi, let's be honest, were definitely like the highlight at Comic-Con for me. For one day, I'd say I had a pretty good day. But you know what the funny part was, is I was walking around that crowded floor, that show floor, I also happened to see this. Yeah, Blood Realm #1. Now, I had been trying to get this at my local comic store, especially since the guy at my comic shop recommended it, and I can't find it. The first printing sold out. You just can't find them anywhere. And you know, Alterna has been hot, and their stuff is selling like crazy. I mean, $150 for really cool books, and it's really a great model that Peter's got going over there. And I couldn't find it. I was buying some Alterna books at my comic shop, and the guy was like, "Dude, you got to check out this other one. It's so sick," and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, we don't have any more left." So when I was walking around, I saw the table, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! Finally, I can pick it up." So, like, no thought about it. I'm like, definitely, I'm going to buy it. And I was talking to the woman at the table, and I was like, oh, yeah, I was trying to get it at my comic shop, and they didn't have any more, and I really wanted to pick it up. And she was like, oh, yeah, great, you know. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm taking it, you know, I'm going to buy it. And she was like, oh, do you want him to sign it for you? Yeah, because I didn't even realize Robert Geronimo, the artist and writer of Blood Realm, was sitting right there, like, eating, having a sandwich, trying to get some food in. And so he signed it for me. I was like, heck yeah, sign it. So he signed it for me, and then we had a whole conversation, and we were chit-chatting about Blood Realm, and they said the issue #2 will be out on Halloween, which is pretty perfect considering the way this book is. You know, and that was really cool, too. I had a whole conversation with this guy, and this guy is the creator of this book. He's the writer, he's the artist, and we had a not a super long conversation, but we had a whole conversation talking about Alterna, talking about Peter, talking about getting these books on shelves and how excited he is to have this book out there for people to read and how successful it's been so far. And that was really awesome. That was super cool. And now I got an autographed copy. Not only did I finally get a copy of issue 1, but it's an autographed copy of issue 1, which is really cool. So anyway, that was probably the highlights for me of my time at the convention. At the end of the day, we went and sat in a panel where Zachary Levi hosted a panel for an hour of just talking, and it was really cool. And I did not mention when we met him for the autograph signing, he actually recognized my daughter because my wife put out a tweet of my daughter being super excited when we told her she was going to meet Zachary Levi, and she tweeted it out the video and tagged him in it, and he actually recognized her. He looked down, he saw her name, he looked at her face, and he had this funny look on his face, and he looked at me, and he's like, "You're Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, Did you guys tweet out a video of somebody losing their mind when they found out they were going to come meet me?" And we were like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I thought I recognized you. That was so cool." Like, he was like super excited. He recognized my daughter from this, from Twitter. That's why I say sometimes Twitter, in that, that other video I talked about, sometimes Twitter can be really cool. Um, and I'm following Robert Geronimo on Twitter, and I tweeted out about getting the book and getting it autographed. He retweeted it, put it out there. Like, these guys are cool. They're trying to promote their books. They're trying to get people reading them. Like, they're acting the way you want comics professionals to act. That's why I love Mike. That's why I like this guy now. This guy has got a fan in me. Robert Geronimo, you've got a fan in me now. Jam Creates is a big fan of yours now. Now, I still have to read the book, and I will be honest about my opinion of the book when I read it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good because I've heard nothing but good things about it. Um, so I'll probably do another video talking about the book itself at some point. I'm going to talk about some other books coming up. So, yeah, that's my story of being at New York City Comic Con on Sunday. I'll probably go back next year, actually, and I'll probably do more than one day because it's a lot. And so that's it. I'm tired. Had to go to work today, and now I'm tired again. um, so if you like this video, if you want to see more videos about these books that I'm picking up, if you want to see more videos about some of this stuff, let me know. Please comment. Hit the button, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And that's it. I will see you soon. I'll see you in the next video. And peace out, Cub Scout.